here, and welcome to what could very well be the last in-car footage of me with the Lambo. Up here in Maine, snow is just starting. Snow season is just starting. We're at the end of November, and we just had a first little snow flurry the other day, and there's snow in the forecast this coming week. So this is probably the last time I will get to drive my car before putting it up for storage. So before I put it up for storage in my garage for the winter, I just wanted to make this video, which is really celebrating my 2 years of 2 months worth of ownership rather of this car. So I figured I would do a 2-month ownership review. I did a review about 1 week into owning the car, so 2 months in now, I think it's time for another review. I put a lot of miles on the car, and I've really got a chance to experience what it's like to own a vehicle such as a Lamborghini Gallardo. So I think you're going to enjoy this video. So let's go ahead and just start off with the questions I've received about maintenance. A lot of people ask, well, aren't those cars, don't they require a lot of maintenance? Aren't they a ton of money to maintain? So I figure I would go ahead and answer that question first. Well, first of all, what have been my maintenance costs since I've owned this car for the past couple months? Well, the answer to that would be absolutely zero, unless you want to count the fuel I've put in it, all the mods I've done to it so far. Obviously that stuff is not maintenance, but really I have not done any maintenance to the car. Actually, I take that back. I did have to add 1 quart of oil because these cars naturally use up to 1 quart of oil. I think it's every 600 miles, I believe, or something like that. Don't quote me on that, but it's something like that. These Gallardos use a certain amount of oil, which is considered normal, and once in a while you have to top off the oil, which of course is full synthetic oil, about $10 a quart. Now, I don't plan to do, or I don't have to do my first oil change until next spring. So when I bought the car from the dealer, they had already done all the maintenance that needed to be done to it. They did an oil change, they did the 15,000 mile service. So really, I don't have to change oil unless I put on 5,000 miles from now. Well, if I put on 5,000 miles today, then I'll have to do an oil change. But I've only put about 1,500 miles on the car since I bought it 2 months ago. So really, I don't have to change the oil till next spring. Now, when I change the oil, just to give you an idea for costs, I'm going to do it myself. I like working on my own stuff. I'm mechanically inclined, so I'm going to save a lot of money. So let's just give you a rundown of the costs. Well, I'm going to have to purchase, I believe, around 12 quarts of oil. I'm not 100% sure. I believe it's around 12 quarts. And at around $10 to $15 a quart, you're looking at anywhere between 120 to 150 bucks just in oil. Now, the filter for these cars is around 60 bucks. So I'd say about a couple $100 to do an oil change once a year, unless you put on over 5,000 miles in a single year. Then you're going to be changing the oil more regularly. Me personally, I probably won't put on 5,000 miles or more than 5,000 miles in a single year. Our driving season down here, our summer season up here in Maine, lasts about 7 to 8 months. So those 4 to 5 months out of the year that there's snow on the ground, I can't drive the car. I'm not racking up the miles. I don't need to change the oil. So I just change the oil in the spring once a year. Now, the next thing I want to talk about is the type of reactions that you get from people when owning a car like this. Just as I'm filming this right now, there's a car full of people behind me right now, and they're driving pretty close, probably trying to see if the car is a real Lamborghini. And you can see them with their phones, filming the car. And that's something you just kind of get used to, because no matter where you drive, or no matter where I drive anyways, someone is always whipping out their cell phone, filming me, taking pictures. It's a never-ending game, really. Especially where I live. I live in kind of a rural area. You really don't see Lamborghinis at all down here. I think I've seen 2 in the state of Maine my entire life, and I know one guy who has one. I know one guy personally who has one. So no matter where I take this car, I'm always getting pictures taken. People are always taking videos with their cell phones. People will ride up on your ass and, looking at the car, trying to figure out if it's a real Lamborghini, trying to figure out what it is, if it's a Ferrari or whatever. And it's just something you kind of get used to. Now, when that stuff first started happening, it really, really freaked me out, because I'm the type of person that doesn't really like to socialize with people. I'm kind of quiet, actually, and I like to just keep to myself. But when people start, following you around and weaving in and out of traffic to take pictures of you, and you go home after driving the car for an hour and you find that you've been tagged in like 3 different Facebook posts of people who've taken your picture, and it kind of, you get used to it after a while. And I've gotten to the point where I kind of enjoy it a little bit. I think it's pretty funny, and I like coming home now and seeing the Facebook posts that I've been tagged in with the car and stuff like that. In the beginning, it was kind of annoying, and it did kind of stress me out, but I don't worry about it as much anymore. Now, let me just make one thing clear. Because of the attention this car attracts and how much I really do love this car, I don't take it many places. Like right now, I'm actually taking it to get a coffee. I'm going on a long drive to get a coffee, then I'm going back home. I don't take it to the restaurant. I don't take it to the grocery store. I don't take it to the movies. I don't take it to the mall. I don't go down and cruise the strip next to the beach or anything like that. I just take the car out when I want to drive it. Now, the reason why I don't take it anywhere publicly, such as restaurants, things like that, is because, quite honestly, I don't want anybody messing with the car. The car creates a lot of attention, and really, if you're not around to tell people to back off, people tend to get a little close to the car, more closer than they should. Some people even almost lean on it. So it's something that you just got to remember. So one of the other things I really like doing when I'm driving this car, like right now, seeing people's reactions as they're driving down the road in the opposite lane. That's one of the things I enjoy most, is because when people notice the car, they notice it at the last minute before they either notice it at the last minute before it's too late, or they see it coming from far away and they have time to whip out the camera and they just stare at the car. Some people are usually talking on the phone, or they're dazing off, and at the last second they'll notice hey, that's a Lambo, and you can literally read their lips every single time. It's usually like, holy shit, or that's a Lambo, or is that a Lambo? You can kind of read their lips and figure out what they're saying. It's kind of funny. One of the other things I really enjoy is I like seeing the reactions that this car creates in younger kids. I don't know why, I just like it. Maybe because it reminds me of when I was a kid, what I would have thought if I saw one of these cars rolling down the road. But really, the other day I got stuck behind a school bus of kids coming home from school, and that was pretty fun because they were getting off the school bus and there'd be like a pack of kids and they wouldn't really notice the car. I was behind the school bus. They didn't really notice me at first, and then one of them would notice, and it'd be like a chain reaction. They would point like this and be like, whoa, and then they would all start looking and they'd run over to the street, and then I'd rev it up for them, pop it in neutral and rev it up a little bit. So that's kind of fun. So stopping for gas or for fuel is really an event as well, and something I want to talk about really quickly as well. We're going to be stopping for fuel here in a few minutes, and I might leave the cameras rolling. Maybe we'll capture something, maybe we won't. But stopping for fuel is always an event, and you kind of have to plan it out. You never want to stop someplace where you're going to be in like a bad neighborhood or anything like that. You always want to stop someplace where it's a nice neighborhood, and there's going to be people around, just because you never know what's going to happen. People usually will approach you. Some people will that you would never even think would be interested in cars would walk up to you and start asking you questions about it. I've had anywhere from middle-aged women or older women walk up to the car and ask me about it. I've had, obviously, guys. The car attracts lots of guys. I kind of like joke around and call it a dick magnet because guys are always wanting to ask questions about the car. Usually people will just walk up and say, hey, is this the real deal? Is this a real Lambo? And then you'll just have to answer, tell them yes, of course, and then answer any questions they have about the car. Another thing that happens, which is kind of funny, and this happened just the other day, is if we are stopping somewhere, like the other day I had to go to the vet. I was out driving around with the car, with my girlfriend in the passenger seat, and we figured we would stop at the vet because we had to get some medicine for our dogs. The dogs weren't with us, obviously, but we stopped at the vet because we were in town to get some medicine for our dogs. And when we pulled in, another car pulled in behind us, and it was a guy with 2 kids in the car. And I didn't even roll down the window, and he had his window down, and he was saying, "Don't worry, I'm not a creep, I just want to check out the car." What happened is he followed us in traffic, or he passed us in traffic, saw us pull into the vet, and then he turned around and followed us and pulled in right next to us just to check out the car. Now that's something that has happened, I'd say about a half a dozen times in the past couple of months. Again, it can be kind of creepy at first because you don't know what kind of people you're dealing with. You don't know if it's going to be some crazy lunatic or some hater who, I don't know, wants to shoot you or something. You never know. So at first it can be kind of creepy, but after a while you just get to know that, for the most part, people just want to check out the car. They've never seen one before. They just want to ask you questions about it. They want to ask you what it is, what year it is, how fast does it go, how fast have you had it, how much does it cost, what do you do for work, things like that. This particular guy just wanted his kids to see the car. They get out. He told them, keep your hands in your pockets, don't touch the car. That's obviously a good sign when people tell their kids to keep their hands in their pockets and don't touch the car. You don't really have anything to worry about. In that case, I just stood back and I let him walk around the car with his kids, check it out, and I answered any questions that he had. Another instance, I was parked at my uncle's house in his driveway, just visiting, and someone had actually turned past his house, turned around and pulled into his driveway, and of course asked me about the car. So that stuff happens all the time. So that's it. This is probably the last in-car video you'll get from me up until the spring, until the snow melts. I'm still going to continue doing videos throughout the winter. I'm going to be doing a lot of mods to the car. So I'm going to have it in my garage throughout the winter, up on stands. I plan to do a lot of mods this winter, new wheels. I might do a Superleggera wing. I might do a few things. Well, I am going to do a few things. So I'll make sure to document all that stuff. And I'm still going to, be making videos on a regular basis, just not driving the car until the springtime. So again, I really appreciate everyone who's checked out my channel. The channel has grown significantly since I posted the video of me buying the Lambo. And I just want to say thank you so much for subscribing. Thanks for the comments. Feel free to post in the comments below. Let me know what kind of videos you want to get from me. If I can make it without being in the car, I'd be more than happy to do that. If you want me to talk more about business videos, how to afford a car like this, I would be glad to do more videos like that. But I don't know if anyone's interested in that kind of thing. If not, I'll just keep making car videos. But just let me know what you want me to cover. And thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next video.